All right, so welcome to another video. Today we're going to take a look at WYNN Resorts. It just recently released earnings and we've got some data there going on. But I want to show you kind of how the stock's behaving and give you some ideas on some technicals. Keep in mind, this is just my own personal opinion and just to give you some insight. But again, make your own choices. If you want to also grab my opinion and insight, join our Discord channel and server. There's also some trading tips here that I go ahead, post, or some option videos and general chat, along with some stock movers here that are also posted. You can get that in the link in the description below. Just check that out. And if you want to see some of the great classes we have, check out Traders Fly. I've got another one coming up next week. So there's a lot of live classes we've done over the last 6 months or so. So definitely check into it. And you can also join the newsletter list, which is where you'll get notified with new stuff that we have coming up, which is probably another great place. Anyway, all right, let's get started here with WYNN. As we get into WYNN, this stock had some recent earnings, and as you take a look, WYNN Resorts basically, when you look at it, is just a hotel chain resort, and the stock's had a bit of trouble. I remember WYNN back in the day when it made an earlier climb back here, but now we've been kind of pulling back a little bit in this stock here. Especially with a lot of things being closed, resorts, people not traveling as much. So over the last 1 year, the stock's down about 21% or so. So that doesn't seem to be good, right? But I remember trading this thing going on this upside. But here now we've been just getting quite a bit of trouble. So anyway, the stock did report some earnings, and there's a lot of stuff in there. WYNN Resorts fourth quarter loss narrows, revenue beats. So they talk about it here. I'll just give you the exact numbers if you want to look at it here on the platform. Let's just take a look. It's 1.242 is the estimate, negative 1.37 is the actual. So it's still a loss, and but the stock actually, it's not doing too bad relative to just overall market and things that's going on. Because right now the market is pulling back about 26 points on the SPX, and if you look at WYNN here, you can see we are pulling back about 1%, but on earnings, it's not like it's totally tanking or selling off. So, if you're trying to figure out, is this a nibbling opportunity? Do I go in and kind of buy the news and that kind of stuff? Usually I say don't really trade around the news kind of stuff and give it 3 to 5 days to digest. But let's just look at the overall chart, meaning this news impact didn't really affect the stock at all. What I want to show you here with this stock is that it's very fascinating. And for those of you that have, studied the swing trading class that I have, the swing trading full circle, here's a cool little pattern for you to really study heavily. ABCD right here on this. And here we've got kind of like a little double top. So what I want to show you is right around that 150, we've got trouble in this WYNN Resorts. But as we zoom in right here, you can see the bottom of this stock was right around that $50 mark. So we got kind of this range about 150 and 50. So this stock is nearly right in the middle of that range. You're kind of right at 100. And oftentimes if stocks break 100, they usually push even further. It's that 100 mark is kind of critical. You can see that also on stocks like UPST. They kind of get into the 100. They did break below it here at 85 or so. But they try to hold 100 usually. And you can see the stock's powering really high today. But anyway, when we get back to WYNN, here is as you take a look at this, you've got some sideways digestion. So let's go kind of like a 2 or 3 day chart so it's a little more clean. You can see 80 is kind of a nice solid base. So this stock was trending lower and now we're creating a little bit of a base. So the energy is actually kind of creating a nice solid base here, and that's a good thing. You also have that 100. So now we've got this sideways consolidation, and that looks good. So we've got support, resistance over here, a little bit of a gap there. So if we can get past this 100, this could be a nice buying opportunity, especially right here. If you're more aggressive, you could get in it early. But this could be the better buying opportunity if you're more cautious or careful, is to wait for that break of about like 102. You don't get it right at 100. You kind of go like 102, 103, 104 even, because sometimes it'll go past it by $3, $4, $5, and then it'll pull back under it, and then it sells off even further. So that's where you have to be a little more careful. But in general, these stocks that once they get above 100, they kind of do pretty well, or kind of in that 100 price range. So anyway, we've got some sideways action here. Watch for this break. That'll look nice. And 140 will be a place where you can probably take some profits if it starts heading into that area of resistance. Otherwise, if you're trying to buy the dip, you know, you could also watch this $80 level, so save some cash in case you want to buy around the 80. So you've got this 80 to 100 range for now on the medium term and kind of the shorter term. And then you got the 140 and kind of the 80 as kind of the larger ranges here. If we go into more of like the weekly, like really, you've got a couple zones here, but about call it $70, 67, 65, 70 is the one level, and then right around 50. Those were some support levels. I don't know if it'll get there just because, you know, the news has been so negative on these types of stocks for a while, and you had a lot of trouble recently, you know, especially over here, you had a lot of trouble. So I'm not sure, like now the news is a little more baked in. But looking at about that $80 price level, that seems to be a good support. If you get some more nasty things, you'd probably see around $65, $70. But even then, you know, now that the earnings are released, that's probably the biggest event there that's kind of been going on and happening. So anyway, that's just my train of thought and my opinion on this. That's what I would look for. I wouldn't really look to day trading it or anything until you're kind of looking to get past these zones a bit. But for now, you just got some sideways movement where that stock is going to be stuck in. And you could play the range, you know, like kind of buy the dip, sell the rip. And that's kind of one way to look at it as well. But right now, it's just going to see a little bit of choppiness in this one, I think, for a little bit of time till things either settle or you get more funnel of buyers stepping in, or vice versa, you got sellers that'll dump it more, because you do have some selling pressure that has been down here. There's a lot of selling pressure that's been very negative. So when you look at it, that has been a problem, and it's been building speed. But right now, this is where we're creating kind of that rounding base and bottom, and that's where that 80 was holding. So anyways, that's just my thoughts as far as the technicals go, and some levels I would watch as you're looking, you know, to get into the stock or get out of it or trade it, is watch some of those key levels, because that's where the stock will move a bit. Anyways, hope you join me either on the Discord channel or check out some of the Traders Fly stuff. You can also see the second channel, Traders Fly, for some options trading as well, where you get some more great insight on trading verticals, calendar spreads, butterflies, and much more. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.